All righty. Hello, everybody. With that, I would like to call this meeting of the town board of the town of Northeast to order. Today is Thursday, June 11th, 2026. It's 7 o'clock. And I'd like to ask you to join me in the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Let's try to push this down a little. Tilly, could you conduct a roll call, please?
Yes, Supervisor Kennan,
Here.
Councilman Mayville,
Here.
Councilman Morrison. Here. Councilwoman Winkler. Here. Councilwoman Cole.
All right, thank you. Everybody is here. I posted an agenda which has been distributed and was posted. I have some additions to the agenda, which I would like to ask for an executive session at the end of the meeting in order to discuss pending litigation against the town. I would like to add a section for our climate smart community report regarding a new initiative, which Kathy Chow is going to talk about. And we also would like to, I want to make sure we have reports, if there are any, from our communications committee and our housing committee. With those changes, I would like to ask for before I ask for that, I've also been asked for time for board discussion. We will make sure we have time for board discussion.
Okay.
But with that, I'd like to ask for a motion to approve the agenda. Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you.
I think they're employees. Sorry, John.
Excuse me? We've approved that, right?
Mhm.
Yep, okay. Public comment on agenda items only. Is there any public comment on agenda items only? Welcome it. Hearing none, we will move along. We have, it's been noted that there is an opening on the highway department. It will not be filled until after we have appointed a new highway superintendent. We have begun reviewing a position job description for highway superintendent. And as soon as that is finished, we will post it and start scheduling interviews. I had a recent call from the county executive and joined a meeting with the county executive and some other of the executive committee of the County Supervisors and Mayors Association. The county has a focus on New York State's humane law, as well as on various towns need to have an appointed dog control officer. They are getting ready to send something out to all the towns. This appears to be a significant problem, particularly in the western and southwestern towns of the county. Not as much out here, but dog control officers are not easy to find. I think there's one dog control officer who's serving 8 different towns. And obviously that suggests some real logistical challenges. Anyway, we are lucky. We have Rich Prentice, who's our dog control officer. Very glad we have that. It's obviously difficult for towns, I think, to meet the requirements of the law because dog control officers are not available necessarily 24 hours a day. And a dog could be out and need to be picked up at other times. So anyway, this is something, it's not particularly involving our town at this point, but it is something that's coming down the pike, and I just thought I would mention it to you. The HR changes, which we've discussed at our last meeting, have been sent to our HR consultants. They will put that into form for the employee manual. And when it comes back from the HR consultants, obviously I will distribute it to the board before we put it in the manual. As you all know, our former board member Ralph Fideli has had a very unfortunate fall. I went and visited him in the hospital yesterday. I went again this evening. Brought him all of our best wishes. And hopefully he's going to make a good recovery. Lastly, the Village of Millerton's 175th anniversary is coming up soon. There's a schedule of events. It's quite a schedule. I'm sure that we will all want to be involved in various different ways. As you know, it starts on the weekend, I think, of the 11th and 12th, and goes for a whole week, including that weekend and the following one. It's going to be quite a week. Okay, that is my report. I have I do not have a budget adjustment. I have a special abstract dated May 21st, 2026, totaling $1,455.26, broken down as follows. A fund, $1,455.26. I'd like to ask for a motion to approve the special abstract.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Is carried. I have an abstract dated July 11th, 2026, totaling $159,507.81. Broken down as follows. A fund, $79,269.62. B fund, $21,757.73. DB fund, $58,230.39. Payroll T&A, $250.07. I'd like to ask for a motion to approve the abstract.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried. 6. The voucher committee for July would be Meg Winkler and Rochelle Cole. With that, I'd like to move to highway and committee, to department and committee reports, starting with highway. And Josh Schultz is here from the highway department. Welcome, Josh.
Hello, everyone. Been a month since we last spoke. Since then, we successfully completed grading all of our dirt roads, including cleanup that we do after that as well. We've also completed our first round of roadside mowing for the summer. That was completed successfully last week. We've been preparing for summer projects as well as preparing to help other towns. We met with Dutchess County Soil and Water today. Talk about a few projects in the town that we want to accomplish that are going to require oversight from the state and the county. So we're kind of getting the ball rolling on some of that stuff. One major project that I'd like to point out is that we've begun stabilization of the Morse Hill erosion issue. We're hoping to have that completed by next week, and that's for phase one anyways.
You wanna just maybe describe how that problem has evolved a little bit,
Yeah.
what's going on that road?
Yeah, certainly. So many moons ago, a tree fell in the woods and it rerouted a stream. And that stream headed towards the bank of our road up on Morse Hill Road. And due to the scouring and just the overall erosion over time, that entire bank that the road sits upon is slowly eroding out. Over the winter, there's an outlet, there's a cross pipe right there. The outlet to that pipe failed and it made the erosion worse. So we were facing a problem on two fronts, but we're able to accomplish our end of things, which was the cross pipe. So this week we began restabilizing that bank by introducing gabion into that hole, just to kind of hold it for now. We've extended the pipe back out so that it'll stay away from the road. That's one of the things that we met with Soil and Water about today. About potentially rerouting that stream if possible, and then utilizing some engineering to permanently stabilize that bank so that our roadway will be secure. So,
Right, but it's one of those situations where. Roads which you think are there and gonna be there forever, aren't necessarily there forever,
Right.
and water is definitely, the enemy of. Roads in many cases.
it can be, yeah, and in this instance, if for some reason we cannot bring the stream back to its original native bed. We have a game plan in mind for that as well, so we'll be able one way or another to secure the future roads, the health of that road, so. Yeah, other than that, that's just kind of, we've been on this, there's only three of us there, so there's only so much we can get done, but we've been plugging away, getting things done the best we can.
Okay. We have a couple of items which are on our agenda which relate to the highway. We'll come back to those.
Okay.
We'll get you back up.
Yeah, great.
Assessor,
You. Alright, so the goings on in the Sixers office have been Grievance Day, of course, our big day of the year. The Board of Assessment Review held their 2026 Grievance Day on May 27th. Appearing before the board were two property owners. Another 9 owners, 4 of the representatives mailed in complaints. And 15 owners actually came to me ahead of time, had conversations, and we had settlements. So those all went very well. In total, there was 38 complaints, 22 of those were stipulations, and the 16 that did not get any reductions from the board. The letters of determination for the board are being prepared and will be mailed out next week. And all the corrections will be made to my role and finalized, and it will be printed and made public as of July 1st. We'll have copies in our office, town clerk's office, online, and parcel access will also be updated at that time. So everything will be fresh for the upcoming year. One other thing that I had alluded to lately is the upgrades in the STAR exemption program that the state has been slowly taking out of our hands, which I'm happy about, but I was nervous that they were gonna be able to process everything properly. Their new plan for this year was to upgrade anyone that was deserving of enhanced STAR exemption directly from basic to enhanced without any applications. They were gonna do it on their own, and I said, sure. But I'm happy to report that several people have told me that they got letters that this was gonna be happening, and just last week, we got a report from the state to upgrade people in our system, so it worked. Yes, we shall stop being skeptical. I just wanted to report that is all going well. And finally, after 11 years, it out of my hands. Very, very happy.
any questions?
Yeah, so I know in one of the newspapers, they just announced, or Dutchess County announced changes to the tax exemptions for emergency responders and firefighters. And I know that's brand new, but we had touched on it several years ago, that at that time, a person couldn't take both the state tax deduction and local property. So my understanding is they're gonna make it easier that someone could take both. But Is that something that we might be able to review again? Because I know it takes a lot of work to work with the fire department or for them to report that they're really Dutchess
Yes.
County.
There's a lot of steps that go into that exemption, but I'm happy to prepare it and report to you and see if you guys wanna move forward with it. Okay, absolutely.
Yeah, I know it takes a lot of work, but I just read it like yesterday, so.
Yes, we just had a assessors a meeting last week and they were reporting about all the new changes in the state budget that were passed, so I'm just gonna start digging into that after all this period day stuff is over and I can report that back to you next month.
Thank you.
No, okay, in previous meetings, we've sometimes talked about a revow. Wondering if that's something that you see in the future at some point, and whether you have a sort of sense of that.
Yeah, so my impression is, and I mentioned is, I really would like to wait for the market, it's crazy market, to just at least settle, if not start going down. I would hate to do a rebound in the middle of things continuing to increase. As has happened in the past, before I came in, that was what our 2004 rebound was right in the middle of, and it was slightly disastrous. So I definitely wouldn't want to repeat that. It's definitely something we need, because after so many years, there's definitely inequity starting to grow, even though all my research and all my analysis has shown that the market is going to increase pretty steadily on all fronts, different kinds of properties, commercial, vacant, residential, different areas of town. Everything is leading me to the same kind of conclusions. But still, in between there's, things that can only be captured if you do a one by one analysis and appraisal. So I would like to see that happen in a few years, absolutely.
Okay. Sounds good.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, planning, zoning, building department reports have been sent.
Yeah.
So is there a town clerk report?
Yes, anyway, yes, and town clerk reports were sent, but the tax collection, I just wanna say it ended today, actually. And after collecting 94%, the warrant was settled with the county. The unpaid and paid official tax roll will be returned to Dutchess County Finance next week. And I've shared with you the collection summary in the bank register, so you can see I zeroed out. And in the collection summary, I think you can see how much the town got as penalties. So if you have any questions about that, let me know. But also as a town clerk, I've received 3 complaints from May 24th, June 7th, and June 8th about noise from the gun club from Mr. Dave Decker. And I've also received and shared with you guys a complaint from Brenda Fields about her neighbors, what she calls harassment noise. In addition, I also shared with you the town dog control officer's report, because we're halfway through the year, and since what the supervisor mentioned might be coming up, it's good to know what he's doing.
On the complaints about the gun club, do we forward any of those emails to the gun club? Because they said they would be happy to check their login so that they could see if there's any of their members violating anything. And they can't check it if they don't know.
Who would that be?
Anthony Robert, the one that came here and talked to us,
Mhm.
and he said he'd be happy to do that, so it would be
Mr.
interesting.
Decker's letters are absolute public record. He's asked them to be let into the record, so they're absolutely public records. And particularly when he cites that there was shooting going on after a certain hour, when there wasn't supposed to be.
Right,
That could be
I can
helpful.
do that. That was one of my questions too, is what, I just get complaints and
Right,
report and file them, but I don't know what happens.
but I
If you
think we
guys-
should go a little further and just
Mhm.
compare the notes, verify.
They offered and asked.
They did offer to do
Yeah.
it, so I think we should take them up on it.
So would the gun club go through us and we would respond, or?
No, this is
No.
just to, the
Alert
gun
them.
club said, let us know if something is happening when it's not supposed to be.
And then.
And that's what we're doing, is sending them the report of somebody claiming that at this hour.
Right, but then what happens? Do
Well,
they
It's-
get back
it's-
to us? Or
No,
they go
this is-
directly to?
They said they would like to know so they can check it against their logs.
Okay.
And
because they
Speak to
may
their
have
members.
issues they aren't aware of.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'll do that.
So I guess we'll hear from them if they do contact them.
Probably.
We'll hear.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Can I
Anything
ask one
else?
thing?
Uh-huh.
So our credit card, that's one thing for our to-do list for the website. Is it automatic now that we approved it, that we can?
No, we're working on getting it implemented. It's not
Okay.
up yet.
It's not,
It's
okay,
not yet.
so it's.
For the
just-
tax collection,
Correct.
yes. The goal is definitely by January, which is when we start again, but
Okay.
yeah, so we have a little time. But
Okay.
they're working on it.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay, that I think is it. Those are your reports.
Mhm.
All right, thank you. And you did also note, we'll come to this under minutes, but that
Oh, yeah.
that there are
Only one set.
only one set of minutes were
Yeah.
distributed. Town board committee activity. Recreation committee, that's a fairly short report.
We did the contract.
Yeah,
Yeah. And just get it back and sign it.
yep,
So,
got it back, signed it, sent it back to the village for the mayor's signature.
Good.
So I think that is done. Building and grounds. Not much to report to you,
We're just following up the plan at this point, so.
yeah.
Yeah.
Highway committee, we've heard some about the highway, we're gonna be coming back to the highway. So I don't think there is a specific highway committee report at this time. Well, other than that, I should say that we have talked about, having an event at the highway garage, to honor the memory of Bob Stevens and just be an event for the community. We're working on a date. We're very close to having a date. I will let you know as soon as we have that. Personnel committee. I don't think we have
So.
a specific report yet. We will be, obviously, because we have some positions to fill.
Are we talking about the job description?
I'm gonna welcome you, all your input. If you want to make it verbally, you can, but it'd probably be easier if we send me emails with.
Yeah, I think if we're gonna post it, it will need the salary and benefits included.
That's when we actually post the description. That would be part of it. This is in terms of what is expected of the person.
Yeah, I mean, I think also the question came up about residency requirements.
Mhm.
And I know there's a change of law in our current code about our zoning enforcement officer. Code enforcement does not need to be a resident. But I know someone in our staff brought up, is that a requirement? What I could see online is many towns have now said, due to the limited employment pool, that they don't limit it to like a Dutchess County resident, so I don't know if there's a certain. I know.
We'd have to change. We'd have to.
I don't
I didn't even see
believe that it
anything.
is a requirement that the highway superintendent
Oh, uh-huh.
live. I don't believe it is a requirement that they live in the town.
Yeah, I
But we can
Googled
look
it
at
in
that.
our own laws, so.
I can check on it. If there is, then just a matter of enacting the law.
I will get back to the board.
Would it matter if it's elected versus appointed? Because ours is appointed.
Elected, definitely.
Right,
Mhm.
because ours is appointed.
Some of the changes of laws in certain New York State towns. Actually listed both, they listed both either elected and or a regular direct hire. That they were waiving it because of the lack of applicants in there, that was for their town requirements. And then we go to the concept of the idea of mostly Dutchess County, so. And
It's a
some say
pretty-
or a neighboring county, it's okay, you know, that,
This is a pretty straightforward research question,
yeah.
Yeah.
so we'll get back to
We'll
you.
figure that.
We'll get back to you on that one. Okay, Communications.
Yes, so Meg and I continue to meet weekly with Kelly. We are updating the website. Sometimes it's painfully slow progress, but we are approaching the end of what is it? See, the tabs across the top. And so we're just plugging along. Yeah, and the ethics page, I noticed
Mhm.
you will be updating that with the ethics.
Like to,
board.
yep,
Yeah, that
We'll-
definitely needs. work.
we'll welcome your input, everyone's input into that.
And we're just awaiting, from the web designer who services us on a per hour basis. We're waiting for his return from holiday to actually execute the request we've made to formatting and different things. And then there is the letter that we highly suggested to send out from the board to the districts that have new zoning and commercial. And I understand the comment that folks want to know about wastewater, but I feel that this deserves its own letter. And then the wastewater is very specific to Boulevard, east and west. And that one should, I believe, should have more detail about it. And it's like one is predicated on the other. Some people can't do certain zoning things if they don't have wastewater, but I think time is of the essence to send it out. And we're talking about probably, if even 35 properties, so not even $35 to just send out something to say, this is where you can find it on the website, please. And just do our best to communicate directly to those property owners. So we highly recommend getting out this letters sooner than later.
Right. Warren has a concern about this letter
Okay.
relating to some other actions that the town is taking. And has requested to have an attorney-client meeting with us
Okay.
To discuss those,
Okay,
which we will
I
do.
wait. That's the first we've heard of it, so.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
the first I heard about it, was just this
Okay.
afternoon. Housing.
Yes, so great news, someone in the town of Northeast is getting, the +1 ADU grant from Hudson River Housing, so they're going through the final stages of the paperwork. A name has not been released yet, so, and then the grant process is over, there will not be another one because they've, I guess they've given out all the monies that were allocated to Hudson River Housing for the 10 towns, 10 or 11 towns. And I also completed with Anne and the pro housing recertification process. I submitted that last Friday. It's due on the 15th. So Chris, if you hear anything directly, I did reach out to them to say, is everything okay? But I haven't heard anything back, so.
Great,
That's it.
that's great news. All right, thank you. The next item on our agenda is the approval of the 284 agreement of highway department projects. This is an agreement that we essentially between the town's highway department and the town board, but it gets filed with the county. And it is something which I think the state requires us to do. What we're doing at this point is simply putting in the dollar amount that's in the budget. The rest of it is blank because the projects that the highway department will be undertaking have not yet been all defined. Josh, I know that you are working on developing a schedule for some of those. And I think when that happens, then there will be the opportunity to come back and amend the 284 agenda. That is what we've done in previous years.
Absolutely.
So at this point, this is just to get it started and to you know,
Submitted.
submit it as needed. And it requires signatures from the board.
2 copies, I need 2 copies here.
Okay,
Yeah.
so why don't we pass this around? These-
One goes to the county supervisor and one I keep.
So then,
This is one of those really arcane bits of bureaucracy that always puzzled me when I've done the board.
But we have to, there's a resolution to sign it,
Okay,
a motion to accept the agreement.
okay, let me, well, we can do that while it's going around.
Mm,
I would like to ask for a motion to accept the 284 agreement. So moved.
Second,
All in favor?
I,
Opposed? The 284 agreement is approved.
Do you need us to print our name also?
I'm sure that's fine if you would like to.
Well, I just don't know.
I don't think so.
Because you won't be able to read mine.
Okay. Josh, I know that you've, just while we're talking about these projects, I know that you have some paving projects that you have in mind.
Yes.
That you've discussed with your fellow highway department employees. Which, are there some in particular that you want to mention to us?
Yeah, we've come to a consensus that there are 2 zones we kind of want, 2 roads we want to focus on this year. One of them is the section of Merlin Road off of the county road. And then the other is the other half of Stones Misery, which is not seeing any type of treatment, significant treatment in many rooms. So those are the 2 areas that we're primarily focused on, but there are going to be, there's going to be some monies to do some more spot paving in parts of town where it's moved as well. We're also exploring, some chip seal options as well, to extend the longevity of our roads. So there's a little bit of everything going on, and it's kind of a weird little soup, it's really good.
Okay. With that, why don't we move right into the auction results, which is the next item. I think you can describe it to us, but we had 3 items of equipment that were put up for auction.
Yeah, last month I asked for permission to put those 3 items up. The auction ended on Tuesday night at 6 p.m. And it was interesting because some of the stuff I thought would go for big money did not, and some of the things I didn't think would go for a lot of money, or a little bit of money went for a lot. So the first lot was the 2006 International 6-wheel dump truck with plow and wing. That was the highest bidder was $13,700. If we want to go by item to item, we at the highway department recommend that you do accept that bid. The next lot was truck 1, that was Bob's truck. That was the highest bidder for that was $1,525. That's way more than we thought we were going to get for it. So we at the highway department also recommend that you accept that bid. The third item, the 2006 Salsco chipper, that we are in the process of replacing. That only the highest bid was on $14,600. When we were exploring whether or not to put it out to bid, we were also looking at trade-in options as well, and we were given a trade-in value for that chipper in the low 20s, about $21,000. In talking with the salesman from Montana, who was the one that gave us that comment, and then talking with some other contractors in the area, we firmly believe that chipper could bring in 30. Given the market's a little crazy for chippers, it's a chipper with not a terrible crazy amount of hours. We believe that could bring 30, and I think that there are avenues for us to get that. So we would request that the board reject that bid. The way the Auction International works is that when you reject a bid, you have to counter offer the highest bidder. So I would say that we reject the bid, we counter off the highest bidder 30,000 and see what happens. If they decide to reject it and they walk away from it, then it's back in our hands to do what we want.
So your recommendation would be that we accept the bid on the first 2 items and reject the bid on the third and counter at 30 on the chipper.
Yes, yep.
I think that makes sense. I think we basically did well.
Oh, for sure.
I'm really pleased to hear that Bob's old truck did better than we expected. And I would certainly support, your recommendation. I think you made a good recommendation to the board, but
Thank
any questions from the board on those auction results? With that, then I would entertain a motion to approve for the auction results to be responded to as Josh just indicated.
So moved.
Second.
Any other questions? Chris, do you have any concern?
No, I was just wondering, do we need to do each individual lot, or can we do the?
I think we can do all three. I mean, he was very specific.
Right.
The minutes will reflect all three, and where a motion would be to accept their recommendation on all three lots.
Right.
Could I have a motion to accept their?
Meg made it.
Meg? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Right, thank you very much.
I wish I bought Bob's truck.
Yeah.
That was a deal.
Okay, with that, I mentioned that there is another item that I wanted to add to the agenda, which was a report of the Climate Smart and a proposal from the Climate Smart Task Force. And we're lucky Kathy Chow is here, along with several other members of the task force, to tell us about some really interesting new opportunity that's been presented to us.
So Climate Smart's been going on since 2018. I don't think any of you, except Chris, were part of that whole process. So anyway, one of the first projects that we did was brought to us by Houstonic Valley Association. And they got us started in Climate Smart, and there was a road stream crossing report. And there was a review of policies and procedures. And so right now, we've been given an opportunity to join a cohort that's being run out of Cornell Cooperative Extension, CCEDC. And it's being funded by the Estuary Program. And lucky us that we get to pretend we're in the estuary.
Right, that's the Hudson River Estuary Program of New York DC.
Correct. So they're basically helping us with resiliency planning. So this is climate resiliency planning, vulnerability and all that. So we did this project in 2019, and this is going to be an update on it. And it's a really timely update because it will dovetail really well with the emergency preparedness, and it dovetails very well with the new county hazard mitigation plan. So there's a great big long spreadsheet that I would not put you guys through because it got done in 2019. Kathleen's really good at these things. We're comparing the new questions to the old questions and identifying anything that's changed since then. And we're gonna go through and incorporate the stuff in the county plan and incorporate the stuff from various other projects that are happening. So we started today, and we have a hand holder named Scott Kleinberg, who's terrific. And he had a meeting with us today for the village. The village will do their own list, the town will do their own list, and they'll come together for one report and set of recommendations. So we started with the village because those guys were available, and that's gonna be a very small little capsule group until after their 175th, which is taking all their bandwidth. Scott does have a time frame that this needs to happen, and there's things that need to happen by August. So we start with all those policies and procedures, and then there's a section that never has been addressed, and that is a real community focus to emergency preparedness and vulnerabilities. And so one of the things that we're going to do with that is send out a survey, and this is a survey that's being done countywide, and CCE is managing it. And it's their survey, and it's, just front and back, that the public is gonna fill out, and you guys will all do it as well. And then we'll collect these, and then it's gonna be tabulated sort of countywide and then specifically for different for different areas. But this has always been a big missing. It was one of the recommendations that we do in the 2019 recommendations, was that we needed to have public involvement. And something that Andrew is particularly interested in is sort of having neighbors knowing how to contact each other, et cetera. And apparently, if we were totally cut off, we could be totally cut off with some major emergency for like 3 days. So how do you deal with 3 days of being out of location? So that's what we're doing. Stay tuned.
So what would this group be composed of? Some town staff?
Okay, so yes, it will be Kathleen and Andrew and me.
And then
We'd
would
love to
you?
have you do it. We'd love to have you do it. And you, and Matt. And the big surprise today for us was Joe, Police Chief Joe, was on the call. He's a wealth of information that I had no idea about. He said that Sharon Hospital every year does a vulnerability assessment, town by town. It's up to date. And he's gonna make sure that he had, lots of names to tell us about. So we're gonna get that and we'll incorporate all that stuff in too. So it doesn't stop right at the New York State file.
So how do you guys plan to send out the survey
That's
to the
gonna be
residents?
paper and online, and we'll do one of our communications blasts, and we'd love to have you help with that too, because you're really good at that.
Okay.
People will fill out the paper ones, and Tilly has agreed to collect them here. We'll have them collected at the library and the village hall. A lot of people will do it online, and when you do it online, it goes directly to Scott's office in the county, and they tabulate it. But we're gonna get all the results of what people are concerned about.
Okay, so it's a fillable PDF or
It's
something?
a fillable PDF.
So what's your goal for, I mean, your committee's just starting.
Timeline for all this, I think
August sometime is when we would like to have the surveys back.
so it's gonna happen.
Posted by the end of this month.
And then in the fall, the idea is to do a public meeting. And I'm imagining, and Scott will facilitate this. I'm imagining it's gonna be something like the comp plan meeting that we had years ago in the annex, where we got really good participation sort of all across the community. Because we want to get people from the American Legion and the fire department, and, not just the usual choir that Climate Smart speaks.
We were thinking of dropping off, stacks of questionnaires at a lot of different locations, so that people see them everywhere. And including at the festival, on the flea market day, we can have them at the table, and on the end closing day, when we're there at the table.
And at the farmer's market, wherever people.
Can I ask?
Yes.
So will you then say we're gonna send it by mail?
No, we won't send
We
it by
will
mail
not.
because history tells us that's not
You're
very
just like,
effective.
throw them in a bin.
Sorry, the only way we might do that is through the village water bill.
Thank you.
Do you, first of all, I think this is, just as with the original effort to get certified as a climate smart community, I think it's work that is very helpful in building resiliency in our community. And so I think it sounds like a great idea, and really, it's a fairly short time frame compared
It's
with.
free to us.
Yes, and I'm very grateful that they're willing to provide staff assistance essentially for it. I think it's something that we should be happy to be helpful with. Is there a requirement for a board approval at this point, or is there anything that you're aware of that requires, at this point, a board action?
Just to know about it and smile and nod.
All right,
Will we need the town website to help with this effort?
Absolutely, yes, we'd like to have the survey on the website, for example.
So you need that right away.
The survey actually goes directly to,
Yes, it's a live survey via a link, so nobody will post it except CCD.
but we'd love to have a note on the website that says, here's the survey, please fill it out. Now, the time frame is gonna be short, so it's not like something that stays there forever. So the social media kind of stuff is an appropriate place for it to.
So I'm just thinking also for our use for the website, be great to get from you guys just a small blurb.
Blurb about what it is.
Yeah, for very short and sweet to the point for someone
There's
to
a
fill it
photo.
out. Yeah,
Any graphics.
yeah,
Sure.
yeah, and then we could do it pretty quickly, actually.
We did have a presentation from HBA in 2019 that was, it was a meeting of you guys and public and village, where HBA explained what they found in our policies and procedures and the gap analysis and their recommendation. A meeting like that will happen also in the fall, at least in the fall. You know, to just give the results.
mhm. Sounds great.
Thanks. Glad you like it.
Okay, next item on the agenda is our public comment period. As you all know, and as I often repeat, this is an opportunity for members of the public to present material or opinions to the board. We don't respond, but we have a 3-minute time period for those comments. So we welcome any public comment.
Let's see.
Yeah,
Johnson here.
may stand wherever you like.
Hello, members of the board. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Dennis Johnson. I've been serving as your town justice for the past 10 years. Something come to my attention in the last couple of days, which is of great importance for it, and I believe I need to open up communication with the board because there has been none at this point. I was perusing YouTube the other night and I came across a clip from the immediate town board from June 4th, where Supervisor Kedman came and made a public comment inviting the town of Weenia to open discussions with the town of Northeast regarding moving the courtroom of this town out of this town and to be relocated into the town of Weenia. I've heard rumors of this over the last 2 years from various places, but I thought it was absolutely incredible and impossible. This would be something I would consider, especially in light of the fact that we've been working on plans for a new town hall, which are directly behind you, which have had the courtroom listed as part of that town hall for 2 years. In preparation of the move, Judge McCabe and I, who's present now, had spent innumerable hours dealing with OCA, the 9th Judicial District, and working out a plan that was both ADA acceptable and security wise, as mandated by court rules. I'm just hearing about this for the first time, that we're about to be evicted essentially. And I don't understand how it is that we've gotten to this point that neither of the justices will have all been consulted about this. The comments that were made at that town board meeting, I find a little off-putting. The idea that these requirements are mind-boggling, in the words of the supervisor, I think are difficult to swallow. There's security issues, principally, first and foremost, but there are also inclusion and accessibility issues. The idea that individuals facing handicaps or other impairments need to be able to be seated and being able to function within that courtroom aren't things that I think are something that should be thought about as mind-boggling. In fact, we dealt with all these mind-boggling things over a period of many months. And those plans before you right there reflect the fact that we dealt with them. I'm not sure exactly what's pushing this, but I think that we can all agree that that is a shared space, as this room is now, and it's a marked improvement over what we have now. The idea that we're going to have a perfect situation for any of our uses is probably not going to be the ability of this town. But I thought we had a good plan. So the idea that I'm hearing about this now is why I'm coming to you, and I have to come in a public comment period limited to 3 minutes. I don't find that to be appropriate at all. So I would like to just remind the town board that there are many laws that govern how courts are established, your one responsibility is to provide a support them. And that's really coming down to the court. And the other idea is that where we sit and how we sit are governed by law. I can't give you any legal advice on that. That's up to your attorney to do and work out with all of the court system rules that are unpleasant. Thank you.
Justice McCabe.
Good evening, everybody. I would just like to take my 3 minutes to add on to what Judge Johnson said. For those who may not know me, I'm Judge Casey McCabe. I've been town justice here for more than 15 years. So a really long time. And I second Judge Johnson's notion that hearing about this through a YouTube link and not through Supervisor Kennan or any other board member was really hard to swallow, considering how long we've dedicated to this community. One of the things that really struck me is, you know, the town court, you don't just pack up and go do it somewhere else. In order to take everything that we have from the clerk's office that, according to Supervisor Kennan, would still reside in the new town hall in Millerton. In order to do that intermediate, you're packing up everything, what we use to accept payments, all the court files, and the laptop, the computer system. You know, all of that is housed here and it's hardwired here. And it's not just a simple get in your car and go. And just the other night I had court and we had an individual who showed up. It was not his night to be here, but we were able to pull his file, hear his case, so he didn't have to come back. If we are to pack up and go, we are only going to have what we're expecting. We're not going to be able to predict who might show up on an off night, and we won't be able to assist them. We also have individuals who can't travel out of Millerton, and they would be disenfranchised. And least of all, our taxpayers. You know, I'm also one, right? So we pay taxes to support the services that are in this town, which include the responsibility of maintaining a court in this town. And instead of utilizing a plan that the town has already paid to develop, that would include a shared space that would be ADA compliant for everybody, you now want to spend additional taxpayer money to rent space to send the court to. That doesn't seem fiscally responsible to our taxpayers. I would just ask that if this is a continued discussion, that we be included, and that any town that might be considering housing us, that their judges also be included. There's a lot of scheduling conflicts that are going to need to be addressed. You know, we have our regular scheduled nights, but we have cases that come up that we need to schedule on a whim. You know, you have preliminary hearings, you have other hearings that pop up. And if we're not just working with in our own community, and then we have to compete with a lot of other people using the space, it may be very burdensome. So again, I would just ask that there be some open lines of communication. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there any other public comment? Okay. We're gonna move on. We next are been asked to have an attorney-client meeting by our attorney. But before we do that, I would just like to say that my door is very open. My door has been very open, and I hear what the justices have just said to us. I appreciate your taking the time to come out and speak to us. And we will certainly be in touch and look forward to getting together. With that, we are now we're gonna ask for an attorney-client.
Yeah, are you gonna have a function?
What?
We have to approve minutes.
We are, okay, we can approve minutes. We have one set of minutes to approve. They are the minutes of May 14th, 2026. They've been,
No, I didn't send this, sorry.
So with that, I would like to ask for a motion to approve minutes of May 14th, 2026.
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, minutes are approved.
Okay.
All right, thank you all very much.
you.
Mm. Thank you, ciao.
I'm gonna vote to go into
By that.
Yeah.
oh, sorry.
Thanks.
I mean,
See you guys.
Hang on a second.